Hello, everybody. My name is MegaFire, and I am joined once again by my friends Bob Hood, Dorko for you, and Harvek, and you are here for our podcast about Sonic the Hedgehog Archie comics. This is the 12th again for the 12th episode. For the 12th time, you've decided it's worthwhile to listen to this.
Why are you still here?
Please, it gets better. With our podcast and this.
It gets worse too.
And it'll get worse before it gets better. So yeah, we're here once again. We got I think it's a good session this time. I think not necessarily the quality of the content, but like the content that I'm sure that we're gonna discuss and bring out of it is gonna be, I think, quite interesting. We read through Sonic the Hedgehog 53 through 55, Knuckles the Echidna 7, 8, and 9, and then Sonic the Hedgehog 56 to wrap it all up because it's all one big storyline kind of. So it was quite a good amount of stuff that we had in one. Let's just start with everybody's opening thoughts. How about we just start with you, Harv?
With me? Well, you see, my current thoughts are Bob should go first.
I liked it more than the last one, but that's a low bar, obviously, because I think we just got done saying it sucks. This one, not amazing, but it had some neat fights and stuff. I don't know. I'll remember it better when we go through it all.
Dorko?
I kind of just didn't like it. I'm like struggling to think of what's to specifically say here. I mean,
I can quote you if you want on this.
Yeah.
To quote yourself from, at the current time of this recording, yesterday, reading the first issue of this session, I already want to smash my head against the wall.
I got so sad. I mean, I didn't disagree, but I was like, I think at that point I was reading through something. I was kind of like, I wonder if the guys will like this part. But of course, my thought process on this is a little different than everybody else's.
I will say that was like partially a misunderstanding on my part that I could probably go into a bit with the first issue, but yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it, honestly. Oh yeah, just so everybody knows, like a little peek behind the curtain, to part the kimono for you all. We don't talk about it until we meet up. Like, we'll make a couple comments here and there, post a screenshot or two, but generally we don't really talk. Like, I don't know what anybody else thinks until we sit down for this. So everything
because I like to. It doesn't. My thoughts don't come to me like until we do it, and I think if I were to like talk about it like before, I would just run out of steam too much.
Yeah.
So I saved that shit up, bottled up, so I can cry about it all at once.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we could just dive in. Starting with Sonic the Hedgehog 53. So we'll be covering Sonic the Hedgehog 53 through 55 first. We'll get that summary going. Dorko, you want to give us the writer and the artist for 53 there?
For the first story, we're starting with a Ken Pender story, but with art by Art Mawhinney.
Starting strong.
I guess I could get it out of the way that the other story is written by Carl Bollers with art by Sam Maxwell.
It's an interesting conversion. We get a dubious writer to a dubious artist afterwards. All right, Bob, give us that 53 overview.
We open with a short story called Unfinished Business. The Freedom Fighters are in a scrapyard, which I'm pretty sure is the Robotropolis wreck from last time. My notes say I was too lazy to check, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Knuckles and his new Echidna friend show up to say hello. Sally talks about the events of the endgames and stuff leading up to it, and the long story short is that Knuckles, the sword of acorn that you gave me was a fake. Oops. And then Knuckles meets up with his old buddy Sonic. Sonic's dad shows up and inadvertently reveals Sonic's real name to everybody. The short story ends with Knuckles and Maurice's dad walking into the sunset. Then after that was Sounds of Silence. Should I go over that now, or do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, just go over both stories, and we'll just
Yeah.
go. Yeah, we'll just do if there's 2 stories or whatever in each comic.
Because I suppose it wasn't really much at the end of the day. Sounds of Silence Part 1 starts with Sally and Sonic looking at some of the remains of Robotnik stuff, as Sally begins to vent about the stresses of being a princess, some factors being the pressure of all the kingdom's problems, the zones popping up, and the state of her father still being half crystal. St. John shows up, and nobody's happy as usual, and then an explosion happens. Part 2 is when Ixis Naugus appears. He is accompanied by some goons, and a fight breaks out. The heroes get out of a tight spot thanks to Chuck, who apparently has the ability to spin dash and fire bullets at the same time. I wasn't able to process it all in like 2 frames. I didn't know what was going on. The gang makes their escape, thanks to him, through a hidden Robotnik tunnel. Part 3 is everybody reports the event to King Acorn, and to him this is very bad news. Ixis is an evil wizard who was hanging around the Zone of Silence and prevented himself from going insane due to the Zone of Silence's effects using his own dark magic. He saved King Acorn from certain death in the Zone of Silence, but is forced to swear loyalty to him, making Ixis the new king. And then part 4, the Ixis gang attacks again. The fight breaks out. They have forced his hand, and he emeraldifies his 2 goons. Sonic says timeout. He gets zapped, but only his shoes and gloves get emeraldified, as his wand only affects inanimate matter. He smashes the wand. Sonic smashes the wand, causing the 2 emerald baddies to collapse like a puppet, without Ixis being able to control them, and then he gets away. And that's our 53.
And if you thought, wow, they must be talking about a 48-page special. No, it's just a regular 1 issue. And does it sound like there's way too much in it? Yes. Do you know who wrote it? Yes, you do. It was Ken Penders. Do you know who's famous for putting too much shit in 1, 20-page issue? Yup. Ken Penders. And once again, he does it. He really likes to do it. And now that it's been pointed out to me, I hate it. So much. So much.
I'm kind of like a little confused, or am I misremembering something? Like the part Ken Penders wrote was pretty short and straightforward.
Really? Wait, did he write?
Yeah, I thought it was just the one where the
thing?
story where Knuckles is there. That's how you know it's a Ken Penders story, because Knuckles just shows up.
Who wrote the Ixis thing?
Oh, it's Carl Bowlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck him too. No, I'm just kidding.
You good, MegaFire? Your Penders hate's getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Shut the fuck. How the turn have tabled. Fuck you.
It's so violent tonight.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm so angry. I'm mad because in
Minecraft, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Sorry, I love this person. I'll kiss him after this. Don't worry. I'm just frustrated because there's just so much stuff in here, and it's something that could have been really cool because the Ixis Naugus. So, to give us a little background, I mean, I think it may have been touched upon a little bit before, but like Ixis Naugus is our new main. He's going to become our new main villain, and he's sort of like, I don't know. I think he's cool. I know we've talked about how like too much mystical bullshit, but he's just kind of like, he's all the mysticism without the bullshit. He's just like, I know magic. Fuck you. Like laser beams of crystals. Like it's cool. I don't know. He's like the classic evil wizard, and it's just pleasant. I mean, it's no Robotnik, but Sonic the Hedgehog isn't shy to like touch on like these kind of magical enemies. It's fine. I think it's okay. He's a cool guy. I just wish his introduction wasn't so like tornado-esque.
It was too fast.
The Sonic comic is going too fast.
Yeah, it is.
But I guess I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, I mean, it basically boils down to, I am...
Yeah, I know. Like, not even a joke. Like, it's just quite literally like, aha, I'm evil. Here's all my evil guys. And then it's like, I can't. They can't fit enough art on each panel. It looks like I physically feel like I'm about to, like, it's trying to blow out of the like comic book itself. I'm like, dude, there's too much, guys. Maybe split it between more comics. I don't know.
So I don't particularly care for a new guy yet. It's probably just because, again, you just came and went really quick. Might grow on me later, might not. No, yet.
No,
But overall, I didn't. Overall, I wasn't super big on 53.
Yeah, me too. I'll start with this. Guess who's coming to dinner? Not fucking me, and not Dorko for you.
The Klingons.
Okay, I want to say like
Doc-
something that like cracked me up at the beginning of this issue, and by the end of it was the same thing of like, why is Dr. Quack on the cover?
He's not even in this story.
Well, he is, but
Well, I mean, okay, I guess he is for like a half a page.
because
or so,
like at first
I don't
it's
know.
like I see the cover, I'm like, why is he on the why? Why is he get a spot on the cover? Who let this happen?
I love Dr. Quack, so I'm okay with it. Dr. Quack fans,
And then after I'm done reading
Doc
it, I'm
Quack
like,
haters are molding.
Wait a minute. he barely he said at most he has like 2 or 3 lines. Like,
Yup.
wow. Who and why like made the decision of like I'm gonna put Dr. Quack on this cover?
I don't know.
I
Spaz.
found Dr. Quack. He's like in the
I
middle.
found him.
Like,
He's like in
where's
the middle of
Waldo?
53, like pages. Yeah, I win. Pages like 21 and 22. He's just there with the king, and pretty much never again.
A brief look into like the Sonic writing room back in the 90s. You know what we should do? In 30-some years, some guy on the internet's gonna be reading this. We should put in a character he hates on the front cover and not explain it.
You know what we should do? We should put Dr. Quack in, because he's definitely going to be a big hit. I think... okay.
We want the kids to ask, where is Dr. Quack? We want more Dr. Quack.
I found a very good quote in the, like, beginning blurb that, like, I feel like really is a tagline for our podcast. Little do they know of the secrets they will unleash. Secrets of a past best left forgotten.
Yeah.
My
I read
review
that,
of Archie Sonic Best Left Forgotten.
That's it. Just post this screenshot, and that's the whole review. Easy peasy. I
Tune in next week when we start reading Doctor Who comics instead.
Jeez, that's IDW too, right? Yeah.
I think so.
And Dark Horse too. Julie Sue looks really weird in this art style. She looks perpetually stoned, which is she doesn't look bad, but she just looks weird. I don't know, like.
I mean, she might be. We don't know.
I mean, she might be true.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cute, and it did kind of like, like I never thought about this. Like, I guess this is what Julie Sue would probably look like if she was in the cartoon, or yeah.
It's just, I think it was like a little maybe framing or whatever that just kind of made her look odd, but it's not bad. It's just strange. That's all. Not used to it. I think we get Sonic and Knuckles meeting each other for the first time and not being like utter dickheads to each other.
Okay, something that
which
cracks
is
me up is
amazing.
like just looking at various responses to this comic and seeing the same thing being brought. Like it's so noticeable to seemingly everybody, including me. Where even I was like, "Whoa, hey, wait, what? They're actually happy to see each other? What happened?"
I was pleasantly surprised that they weren't being dicks to each other.
Hey,
for
Nux,
once.
my
I guess
best
that
friend.
was nice.
Rad red, true blue.
What's another
Yeah, dude,
dialogue
they're,
was
like,
Whoa.
really strangely
handshake.
corny.
It's my best friend, Knuckles. Hey, Knuckles.
Yeah, we get Sonic's full name.
You can tell Ken Penders wrote this. Everyone loves Knuckles.
Dude, but like Knuckles loves Sonic, so by extension, Sonic's based.
Yeah. Well, my little sound effect isn't far off. Let's be honest.
We get Sonic's full name, Sonic Maurice Hedgehog. Apparently he has a first name. I don't know where people are digging this up, but I think his first name was supposed to be like Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog.
From what I understand, like, Ken Penders tweeted once that like that was the first name he had in mind, but
that's fine.
It probably makes sense that like that never came through. Like, I don't know whether it be like he just decided not to go through it, or maybe, I don't know, Sonic Team was like, that's stupid, don't do that.
Yeah. Which is fine. This is fine. I think Maurice is I think it's really funny to just, Sonic the Hedgehog, the being his middle name is really funny too, but Maurice is just, I don't know, I thought it was very funny when I first read it. I still think it's funny.
It's nitpicky on my part, but it's like I don't really like the concept of Sonic not being his actual name. I mean, it's kind of cute, but it's like it's not really. I don't dig it.
They shouldn't do that.
Oh yeah, the Sonic part I think is stupid. I think they shouldn't have given him I think the middle name portion is playful enough that it's like you don't need to do the first name. It's fun. The joke is landed. It's fine.
I get you're trying to do an Indiana Jones sort of thing, maybe, where Indiana Jones isn't actually his name.
Wait, is it?
Oh, did I spoil Last Crusade? You should go watch that.
I did watch Last Crusade, but I forgot.
His name is Henry Jones Jr.
I think I'll stick with Indiana Jones. I just like at the very end of this like story, it's just Sonic's metal dad, Jules the Hedgehog, just taking Knuckles by the hand, and all I can think of is, "You are my son now, Knuckles." As they walk off into the literal sunset.
Come with me, Knuckles. I would like to talk to you.
I mean, they are quite literally walking off into the sunset.
I didn't know we'd be getting into so much yaoi so quickly.
There's one thing I need to check with you guys. It's a scene that plays when Jules calls Sonic by his middle name Maurice, and he does this pose, and all I could think of is the render from like I think it's Sonic Adventure 2, the laugh pose. It doesn't it like I don't know, it immediately blasted my mind like this is almost the same.
It's kind of crazy that a drawing of Sonic would resemble another drawing of Sonic.
Dude, this is like at least 8 years apart. Come on, give me a break. Are you telling me the guy who drew the Sonic art, renders from Sonic Adventure, they're like, what should I draw today? Oh shit, look at this nice single panel from Sonic the Hedgehog Archie comics.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I don't like Sonic's eyes being, or like his eyelids being flesh colored.
Shut up.
This feels very wrong.
Boo! I hate you. Boo!
Hold on. Let me talk about his arms next.
Boo! Anyway, Sonic's big eyes. That starts the next story. Why do they keep insisting on giant eye, zoom-ins in this comic?
Why is his mouth so close to his eye?
It'd be like.
I think it just kind of comes down to like Sonic is actually a pretty difficult character to draw. So, you have to get multiple artists in, and a lot of people just don't have a handle on it, or they draw Sonic's head from weird angles, or we've seen so many awkward spin dash Sonics that look bad because he's just a head. I don't know.
Did you guys ever answer the question of what do you guys think of Brown-Eyed Sonic?
Oh, I don't mind it. I think it's nice.
It never registers in my mind.
I'm sorry.
I think it's fine.
I know there's a war about Sonic's eye color, so
we'll have to wait until the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 arc.
And then in the second story we start with the goddamn hobnob of the Shire and the Fellowship of the Stinks coming in. Why does he look like that? Why do they do it like this? Why does he have this weird, strange, mysterious cloak? God damn it. all I could think of is this. What? Don't try to make this guy look
I know
cool.
there's an ellipses there, but the first time I read this, I thought he was calling Sonic a princess.
Princess Sonic.
Although I do want, like, before I forget, like, I'm kind of past it, or I kind of forgot about the plot point of when they fought Mammoth Mogul, however you say his name, a fucking
Mogul?
stupid elephant. Like how it ended with like, aha, actually I have the sword and they have a fake one. I forgot about that. So when the story with when that started with like Knuckles, the sword was fake. Can you go on another quest for a sword? That was when I was like, fuck. I'm gonna smash my head against the wall.
You thought he was just setting some fake shit up? Like, no, this didn't happen.
And then I started like laughing, like thinking back, like, oh man, when we were talking about, I'm glad this plot ended. Like, little did we know.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I told you guys to remember this. I feel like it was one of my remember this moments, but maybe I forgot. I don't know. Maybe I thought you wouldn't forget because it was like, I don't know, within 10 issues. Yeah. I think it's really funny that Knuckles is just like, hell no. Yeah. He quite literally like, sorry, Prince, I got my own shit to deal with now.
Yeah, it was kind of a relief because I basically just had this moment of panic while I was reading, like, oh fuck, is he about to go on another quest?
Yeah, Knuckles Quest 2.
So I'm glad it wasn't.
And Sonic.
I'm glad it wasn't as bad as I thought, I guess.
Yeah, so we get introduced to a few more characters. Well, actually, I think we may have gotten their names before, but Warlord Kodos.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so it was cool. Big. He's one of those bears. So I didn't notice this before, with all the like read-throughs that I've done of this comic, that he is just a big muscular version of like all of the like Royal Acorn Guards, which are these big bear guys. He's also just this giant bear of a man and with like a big old beard. I thought that was really cool. I didn't pick up on that, like that. Oh, well, of course, all the royal guards are also bears, just like this. I don't know. It was a little touch that I didn't realize at first, or at whatever count.
I didn't notice either. I still didn't. I still don't register what animal he is. To be honest,
he's like a bear. I think it's a bear. Pretty sure it's supposed to. They're supposed to be bears because like Joffrey St. John's like little entourage are like gophers or something, and then
well, now that you mention it, the guards definitely did stand out as these cartoony big guards that we've never seen before.
Yeah, they fucking dude, they die. Can you like? This is insane. I'm posting the screenshot now, but like. You just see everybody standing around, and those two guards are like, all right, the two of us, we're gonna go fuck them up. For the king. And then you just see like a panel is like, shrunk. That's it. They're dead. They don't appear ever again. They beefed it. I thought that was really good. Also, Sonic breaking the priceless crystal. That's it. That's all it took, is just to break the crystal. Wow.
Break the power gem.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else. This comic, or this specific issue, is just full of a lot of bits that I think are cool, but it ultimately it just struggles from a lot of what we've been saying before, where there's just too much shit going on. Surprisingly, the Ken Bender story was relatively smooth.
It was kind of pointless. I mean,
it was pointless. Yeah, it was kind of pointless.
And like, at least it wasn't giving me a headache, but it was...
Well, I mean, it sets something up for the future comic, for the 56, I guess. Knuckles and but like, yeah, it was kind of, I don't know. I thought it was nice to get that like little Sonic, and honestly, it was worth it if not just for that like Sonic and Knuckles interaction, and then like establishing the Sonic weird relationship with his dad bit.
I guess it's fair. I guess I'll give the second story credit, and just that part of Sally talking about her worries and what's bothering with her, and like Sonic actually just, I don't know, being nice and listening, like just having this one moment for once where I can believe that they like each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, there's a lot of like, It's so weird to say it after we've just clowned on this, but it's like there's nice moments for the characters in this issue. Like unironically, like there's just some really good moments, and it's just like there's nothing terrible that happens in between those moments, but it's just like the way that the whole formatting of the story is. It's like it kind of feels like there's just a bunch of muck, but the muck is like I don't know, like one of those clean, like you know those mud baths. It's like. Well, it's not disgusting and dirty, but it's like, man, it's still mud. It's still mud, but it's like there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's weird. All right. Anybody have any other thoughts on this issue? If not, go ahead.
I think you should say no.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Dorka, why don't you give us the writers and artists of 54, and then Bob will go right in.
This one's written by Carl Bowlers with artists Nelson Ortega and John Hebert.
New artist. And you know what? I love the art in this one. I do. But I feel like I say that every time we get a new artist. Go ahead, Bob.
54. Uncle Chuck gives Sonic a device to, I think, test his speed in order to find out how fast he actually is. But with Sonic in a bad mood, and he has a lot on his mind, every time he does one of these tests, we get a flashback to some more post-endgame events. Apparently, I didn't feel like writing them all for my notes. But for example, Rotor wants some time off from rebuild duty to find some missing folks. But the princess needs his help rebuilding, blah, blah, blah. Also, Sonic is still upset about his parents. Uncle Chuck tries to explain to Sonic why he even kept that a secret, but as soon as that resolves, meanwhile, Sniffly had already set off a signal from within his prison cell to order some egg boss to start some problems. That's the summary. Are they calling back to that one Rotor thing where he showed up in an iceberg and left? Did they not resolve that yet?
No, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it's referring to. It's like, my family's still lost out there.
Yeah, Sonic promised to help him
Sally.
with it, and So, I actually quite like this issue for a few things. The little flashbacks are. I know what they're trying to do with it, and it's like one of those instances of like, hey, flashbacks that aren't annoying. I don't know. It's stuck in my head now. Everything you guys have been pointing out with the Knuckles comics, I'm just like, I never noticed these before. And now I'm like,
at least now it's trying to explain why Sonic's all stressed out while they're doing these tests. So it actually makes sense this time.
But also the way that they go in and out of the scenes is really nice too. I don't know. I feel like I could see it animated, and the way it's animated is really neat, especially with the effect of like. So the first time we see this flashback, it's like Sonic's walking away from Uncle Chuck and Uncle Chuck and Tails, and he's just sort of thinking to himself, and then it like zooms into his head, and part of the head like fades away to like reflect the scene with that he's remembering of Sally's address to the kingdom, which by the way, she just gives me Magic Man energy. I like this issue. There's not really much to say. I thought it was nice. I like that they're using the egg robos again, because we got introduced to those, and they're kind of a really iconic design from the games, but we just didn't have them. They didn't really stick around a ton, so it's nice to see use again, and it's calling back directly to the fact that apparently they were Snively's robots, so he still has control over that. I thought that was a really good touch.
Also, apparently the egg robos literally hatch out of eggs.
Yeah. and this comic continues to show us its fascination with teeth. First it was Dr. Robotnik's, now we get like just this panel of the different characters smiling with their teeth out.
Look at St. John's teeth.
Yeah.
I can't tell what kind of expression that's supposed to be.
A smirk is what my assumption was. The overall art style of this issue really, it kind of reminds me of like some of the like 80s style Tom and Jerry. There's a very specific pull I want to make, especially with some of the text, like the hip hip hooray. really reminds me of some like Russian old Soviet cartoons, but nobody will understand that. Neither in the audience nor my friends is here, so I didn't want to bring it up. But like some of the art in this really, really like just, especially some of the zoomed out art where Sally's standing amongst like Rotor and Doc Quack and then they're like going across all the faces. A lot of it just really reminds me of that. And I thought that was personally very nice for me. I like the art in this issue. Story's nice. It's a good setup. Love the Egg Robos. Yeah, I think it's neat that Snively is doing stuff from prison, from the gulag. Also, we get an up on the Sonic foot count, which I don't have the number right now, but I'll make sure to get that. The ticker goes up one more time. Yeah,
it's a bit awkward because as far as the plot line goes with like the whole thing of Sonic and his parents and Uncle Chuck, it's like I thought that was supposed to be somewhat resolved, or like Sonic was already getting over it, but then they just kind of brought it back with like Sonic's just angry about it again. I'm like, oh, we have to go through this again. All right, I guess.
I think it was him pushing it out of the way to focus on other things, but now he has way more time, and I feel like they did a good job with that. I don't think I agree in this case. Yeah, I'm usually quick. Like if you bring it up, I'm agree. I don't think that's the case in this one. I think that the way they presented this was more of like he's stewing in his own head now, and it's like, well, even with that, it's like, why would he not tell me? It's like even with the reason that we had, like. I get his perspective, but I can still be upset. It's like it's okay for me to be unhappy about it. I mean, fair. He's not. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the way that they did this was a very like nice. I don't know. I like the way that they did this one. It was kind of good because it wasn't just his parents. It was sort of all these other pressures that were on him. Where it's like, it's kind of this beginning of this turning point of what a lot of people start to complain about with the comics, where the focus kind of goes away from the adventure.
Yeah, even Sonic's upset about it.
Yeah, even Sonic's upset about it. And I think that's awesome. Like, okay, yes, it was a conscientious choice for them to take the plot in this direction, but it's like, it's also, well, how would Sonic feel? He's not just okay with it and they just disregard it. It's like, it's being addressed even in the comic. And it's kind of, I don't know, I think that's neat. Obviously, we're still a little whiles away from that plateau point that people always talk about, but it's still a neat introspective that he presents. It's very, very, very mature, I guess, for a Sonic comic, and it doesn't seem too bad. I think it was written fairly well.
I didn't really vibe with him. I thought it could have been done better, but eh.
I mean, it could have been done better, looking back at it 30 years later, but
I thought this one was okay. Could have been done better, but I still thought it was okay. It was like, yeah.
I did think it was funny to get to the end and just see next issue, Khan, and I was like, huh? Khan? Who?
Finally, my favorite Sonic character, Khan Noonien Singh. Notably played by Ricardo Montalban in Sad AM.
Wait, what?
It's just the Star Trek gag he's going for here.
That's a Star Trek gag.
I didn't know if you were being like actual, like there was some sort of cross between there was some sort of bridge to cross on there.
No. Ricardo Montalban did do a bunch of voice acting, but it was for like Freakazoid and stuff.
Okay, well, shoot, damn, you had me kind of excited, like, ooh, we found another connection.
I don't think there's any way I could directly link Star Trek and Sonic, I'll be honest.
Not with that attitude.
I don't have enough willpower to look.
Alright. If we're done with 54, let's move on to 55. Dorko, for you, give us those details.
This is like we always just mainly we just credit like the writer and the penciler, and so it's just a new person for both of those. It's Frank Straw. Like he wrote the story and drew it.
What was his name? I'm sorry. What?
Frank Strom.
Oh, yeah, this is a strong person.
No, you fool, it's Strom. Like Stromboli.
Must be very strong if he both drew and wrote it.
True, just like Ken Penders.
Oh, no.
You know, as weird and awkward the art can be in this, it's kind of cute. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on it. I do like it. That's positive.
I do have one question, but I'll wait till we get the summary.
All right, Bobby, go ahead.
All right, Bobby. Sonic.
Bobby.
55, right? Yeah, 55. Sonic, Sally, and Antoine investigate some egg bots who are in control of some kind of drilling machine.
Woo, Anton! We love you!
He's back. Then a monkey cyborg built by Robotnik appears. The egg bots who are drilling to find Ixis Naugus' power signature. Instead, just find a simple power ring, which gets snatched by the monkey. Then Monkey Khan beats up the robots. And then after getting attacked by Sonic, Khan notices Sally and kidnaps her because he's very lonely. Sonic and Antoine go to rescue her, but are ambushed by the Eggbots. Khan turns back around and zaps the Eggbots to help out. Sonic and Khan shake hands after the monkey's change of attitude, and he leaves.
Monkey.
And then the Uncle Chuck story. A bird roboticization victim gets attacked by some dudes who are suspicious of her being around Robotnik's old lab, which is supposed to be off limits. Chuck steps in and throws some flash bombs to fend them off. The angry civilian named Tuscaloosa is calling her out for being around some off-limits area. Her response is that she only showed up there as a dare from her friends. They all run to Castle Acorn to get the royalty to help settle everything. They expect Sally, but get King Acorn instead, who says, I'm king, you're getting dismantled for treason, fuck you. He goes off on Chuck for his past with Robotnik. And then the authors forgot to draw his mustache for these next few panels. This makes him so mad that he goes berserk and starts going off on everybody before he passes out. Meanwhile, Knuckles is calling Sonic for help at the floating island. The end.
I might also point out the fact that the Robian, the robot girl is a kid. I think it's an important point because I feel like there's a very important point they're trying to drive in at the very end here. And also, I did not realize this guy's name was Tuscaloosa. that's pretty good. I didn't pay attention to that. I guess I can start. I was thinking somebody else would go, but I will start with this panel. I really liked this whole I don't know what it is. Like I looked at this and like, damn, this reminds me of Dragon Ball so much. And then you get the monkey guy on the classic Wukong Journey to the West guy on this.
Kind of confused by those expressions. I was like, wait, is this thing making me think of Dragon Ball or something else? But yeah, between this and Monkey Kong, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were a Dragon Ball fan.
Dragon Ball, Ranma.
This is a pretty good panel. I thought the art was cute.
Yeah.
So,
I like the art.
Why is Anton's sword so short?
It changes size depending on how excited he is.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Dude, are you kidding me? I took exactly the same. Are you joking?
Well,
dude.
Okay, this panel is these two guys arguing at each other, MegaFire and Harvek.
Dude, listen, Anton. Once again, we are the Anton fan club. He is always right.
I just love it when he accurately cuts into other characters when they're being insufferable.
This man is like, Monkey Khan. I think this is right after he takes Sally, right?
Yeah.
He takes Sally. But let's preface that. So Monkey Khan appears, beats up the robots, and then Sonic's like, I don't trust this guy. This guy, he sucks. I'm gonna go beat his shit in. They start to fight for no reason. No reason for him to do that.
Very Goku move.
And then, in classic Sonic the Hedgehog comic fashion, they're like, we can't have a man appear and Sonic can't fight him without that person becoming a scumbag immediately after. Where Khan relatively normal guy. He seems pretty cool. And then he's like, oh, girl. Then King Kongs her away. Like, great. Awesome. Love it when you turn anybody that, like, Sonic, is, fighting against into a pervert. Just because, even though in this... Because if we make Sonic look like the wrong guy, we can't do that. Why'd you put him in this situation? Anyway, Anton's right. It's like the writer is fighting against himself. I just took a note. I took a screenshot and I took a note that just said, "He's right. He's right. He's right."
Yeah, I gave my screenshot the file name of he's got a point.
He's got a point.
Just to read it out loud, that Antoine saying to Sonic like that you are insufferable, antagonistic, you don't play well with others.
Yeah. And he's right.
Khan gets released from a fucking cage. Oh man, after 10,000 years of ooh, boob.
Ooh. His face is even like literally ooh.
Yeah.
I'll say, aside from his like the stupid moment of him like being like ooh pretty girl kidnapped, aside from that he was actually kind of chill by the end of it.
Yeah, at the end of it the misunderstanding is cleared up a little bit, and they work together, and Monkey Khan is like, I am lonely, but see ya. I'm gonna enjoy my freedom instead.
Alright, Sonic, you'd have this girl. I'll see you later, buddy. Oh yeah, see you later.
Write this fan fiction where everyone's kissing each other.
I just imagine it like the Kirby clip with the Poppy Brothers Jr. Anyway, yeah. So Snively's Robo forces are foiled, and good times for all.
Wait, this might be a nitpick, but one thing I was confused about was like, I don't quite remember. I swear, like someone might have been Sonic, like specifically says like, Snively, like these are Snively robots. Snively's behind us. But like, wait, did they actually know that? Because it's like it'd be kind of weird if they did know about that and weren't doing anything. Or you got the guy in prison, maybe you can check on him.
I think it's like a realization that that he came to, but then like in the next comic, it kind of shows that they just return, or not the next comic, but the next story, like at the very end of the Robian thing, when King Acorn is being a piece of shit as usual, Sonic and Anton and Sally come in, and like in that moment there's a lot of other crap going on, so it might have been lost in translation. And then Knuckles calls immediately after, so I think they just didn't have time to address this issue,
I guess.
yet.
It was just kind of weird because like it would have been easy fix, so just don't have the character mention Snively, and I wouldn't be confused, but oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were trying to set something up for after this.
So one observation I saw was just pointing out how at this point in the comic, I guess, this story kind of sticks out like a sore thumb a little bit, because it's almost like a return to form of silly adventure of just a couple of Sonic and two of the Freedom Fighters going on this goofy adventure. And then, like, every other story in this session is just this weird melodramatic stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
See, I try not to say it because I think this is something I used to say in a lot of sessions. But yeah, this felt like a very like early stage comic, Sonic comic series that we just read. And I thought it was okay, a bit silly, but it was alright.
Yeah.
I do like the Rise of the Robian story though, because it's okay. I'll make my acknowledgments right now. I think it's ham-fisted on the message. But I do like the story focusing on Chuck. I like the position that the Robians are in this like story. I think it's a neat little, because we kind of get left over of like what do we do? Oh, we'll just go, we'll vibe on our own. Don't worry about us until Uncle Chuck can figure out a way to save us. But then it's just like creating this little conflict is kind of interesting, because we love to see King Acorn continuously dig himself into a hole, and also we love to see the anti-monarchy rhetoric from Uncle Chuck. Down with the monarchy. I can't find the screenshot that I had saved for this because I named it Down with the Monarchy. There it is. He's basically King Acorn basically just declares, okay, we're gonna dismantle her, she's a treason, and Uncle Chuck's like, you can't just make up a law. He's like, that's unfair. And King Acorn's unfair. How do you think monarchy works? It's pretty good.
Boy, this King character is really insufferable.
Yeah. I think
put
it's
him back in the zone of silence.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sally, but it'll be better this way.
Don't worry, he'll team up with Turok in there.
Sorry, Sally, your dad sucks. He should die, I think.
Shove him back in that armor.
If he became a crystal, I think that would be fine.
Might be a net
it is kind of
positive.
funny though, because it's Saint John. Feels weird to talk about this. I like this position they put St. John in, though. Again, this is the second time. I think last season we had something like this too.
Last season?
Oh, sorry, last season, last episode. During the end game, actually, where St. John kind of has like this moment of conflict between state, like loyalty to the state and the crown, and like his own morals. Where, you know, it's a very odd instance where he doesn't like the way that Chuck is being treated, and he thinks it's unfair, but he's like, even his like really like he's sucking up to the king, and he's trying to be like, he's like just beseeching him to think about the decision more, and he just gets his ass beat by the king. I think that's really, it's an interesting framing of the character at this point, at this stage of the comic. I know what they're setting up with him, but like, I kind of wish that his personality would follow suit outside of these instances. But at the same time, this may be me reaching, but I think the reason why he's framed like this, where it's like you get these moments where you're almost like, well, you know, if you just saw him in these moments, he's kind of a cool guy. You know, he's trying to stand up for Chuck without, you know, but in a sensitive way to the king, as a loyal servant to the kingdom. But at the same time, it's like when he's a dick to everybody else around him and he's so cocky, it's like almost maybe it feels like this is the only time it's like a cop, right? He's like a fucking pig where he's just like, I can exert my, you know, my authority and my like position over these schmucks because they're nothing. But then when he's like, but he still has like he's trying to, because it's just his outlet, I guess. I don't know. It was an interesting introspective I had today, not today, but like when I read this issue yesterday, I think, or the day before, and I was like, I never really thought about this, but then it just kind of trailed in my head, and I'm like, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I thought it was an interesting perspective to have on the character. I mean, he's still a shitter and he's still written horribly, but just I think that the way there may have been a reason for it that just wasn't conveyed well or something. Maybe I'm overthinking.
I mean, the thought that's just crossing my mind right now is that, well, maybe it's just a writer trying to do something interesting with Jeffrey, and you know, it's someone who's not Ken Penders.
but like the 50th anniversary thing, this kind of thing was already was happening too, and that was Ken Penders. So I don't know. I genuinely think that there was some thought behind this.
I guess that's
the
fair.
way they were going to take the character, but like maybe the way it was presented. I don't know. Like I've said this before, where I think he was really presented as a dick. I just think that the things that he, like on purpose, I just think the things he does as a fucking pervert LePew is not. I mean, for me, it's a tired topic. It's not a good tool.
It's kind of rough,
also,
and it's also like an elephant in the room. It's like, well, there's just this terrible thing attached to this character. You can't really remove it from him.
Yeah, you can't. Well, I mean, you can't, but like, I don't know. I think it's also, it's like one of those tropes from like the 90s where it's like, how how do we make a guy seem insufferable? You make him a pervert. And it's just like, okay, all right. I mean, you're not wrong. It will make you dislike the character, but it's also kind of harder to redeem it from that point.
That's kind of like, who can say what exactly went behind the thought process of the character? Or maybe he just really wanted to make a Pepe Le Pew agent for some reason.
Maybe it was that's as simple as that, but I'd like to hope. Maybe I'm reading between the lines a little too liberally, and not actually like that wasn't the thought process behind it. It's in moments like these where I really genuinely wish we can have somebody like that was in the writer's room at the time. Give us some insight. Man. That's all
we
I
still have the fucking Knuckles comics to go through, man.
Yeah, let's do the Knuckles ones yeah.
Okay.
We should do it in
let's
one.
get it over with. Rip off that Band-Aid.
Do you think we should do it like that, or should we go one by one? What do you guys think?
All at once. Rip off the Band-Aid.
Sure.
Off the Band-Aid.
Okay.
I want to post a panel.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Do you want
It'll take me like a fucking aeon to go into fucking MS Paint so I can crop it.
From Knuckles, or
No, from the end of the this one that we just did. It's a bit of an egregious panel that I don't think anyone's brought up yet, but like, I mean, forgive me if I missed anyone saying it, but
Damn,
this
Bobby,
fucking
you had
thing right here.
so much time while MegaFire was talking about Jeffrey.
I'll never.
Oh, we were talking about Jeffrey. This is about Sonic. Fucking Sally's dad gets clocked in the foot. He like passes out. I was like, you ever went one of those days where it's been one of those days.
Wait, what? How did none of us bring this up?
It didn't register in my mind, but now that you mention it, this is pretty silly.
He's been kind of an asshole.
The fucking whiplash, dude. This is so funny. That is amazing whiplash. I'm saving it.
Having said that, if we're already on pursuit of the entire Knuckles.
Yeah.
The entire
just
Knuckles.
give us the Knuckles.
The entire
I think it's pretty much one story anyway.
That's true, but buckle down because it's going to be a lot of summary. Grab the
All
popcorn.
Let me start. Wait, before you do the summary. Sorry. I just want to give us this. I put together 7, 8, and 9 have one continuous comic. Like the cover is a single spread. And I put it together for everybody's enjoyment.
See, so that's actually neat because I saw the hand in one, but I completely forgot what was going on in the middle of the story, so I didn't actually know this until just now. Thanks for pointing that out.
When I saw the hand, by the time I got to the other hand, I was like, who was that? Why is there two master hands?
The way I'm looking at this right now, and I had this brief moment of wait, is that Knuckles 3 times, or are those different characters?
That is in fact Knuckles 3 times.
It's Knuckles 3 times, man.
Knuckles versus Master Hand.
You almost had it. You almost had a cool idea, and you fucked it.
Well, you gotta have Knuckles on the cover.
Actually, if they just kept the middle Knuckles, I think that would have been cooler.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, starting with Knuckles 7, Jack is summoned from space by Kragok, the Echidna with the robot claw arm. Meanwhile, what's her name? I didn't remember her name yet when I was doing the summary. Sits down with Knuckles for a chat. Knuckles laments feeling like a puppet, with everyone else pulling the strings elsewhere. Jack kidnaps Archimedes and his grandpa. Elsewhere, General Stryker, the dingo guy, I think, expresses concern to the bearded Echidna guy, I forget this guy's name too, that his dingo people are homeless. Echidna says, lay down your arms and we'll think about it. Fair enough, dipshit, replies the dingo, crossing his fingers. Knuckles, meanwhile...
It's General Stryker! It's General Stryker!
General Stryker.
General Scales!
General Scales.
He has a military rank.
All right,
Please
shut up.
refer to
Please
this.
continue the summary.
Knuckles looks for Archimedes. He can't find him, nor can he find Espio at his invisible house, meaning something terrible must be coming up. Meanwhile, poor Knuckles' great-grandfather is having a heart attack. Knuckles' dad uses a medical procedure of Mind Blast to try to keep him from keeling over. Before you see how that ends, we go back to Knuckles and Julie Sue, who bump into Enerjack. Knuckles 8. Flaunting his power, Enerjack teleports himself and Knuckles to the moon and then to the bottom of the ocean. Not to kill Knuckles, but to try to get him to submit to inferiority first. For some reason, Julie isn't a part of this. Instead, she is with Kragok. Kragok is a bit less than happy that she was with Knuckles. Her explanation is that she's using him to find Kragok and then the rest of the Legion. She then declares to a sergeant named Rykor that she's resuming her post. Meanwhile, Knuckles' mom asks some guy for help in locating her ex-husband. Knuckles is still struggling against Enerjack. Meanwhile, Dad... There's so many meanwhiles. Dad Knuckles had apparently knocked himself out with his mind trick. Great Grandpa is still alive, but still in a coma. Knuckles manages to finally get some air. Enerjack continues to try to break Knuckles' spirit so that he may kiss Enerjack's feet. Meanwhile, Kragok takes Archimedes and his grandpa and traps them into a snow globe, and then traps the snow globe into one of those coolers that you fill with ice to store cold drinks, and then traps the beer container by burying it under the sand. The ants are unable to teleport to safety as the igloo's electromagnetic field is too powerful. I wish I didn't forget my water before we did this. I'm dying. Enerjack realizes he will never be able to break Knuckles' spirit, so he gives up. Instead, tries to pull a Thanos and begins breaking his atomic structure with his special powers. Also, there were like 10 pages worth of ads, apparently. Knuckles 9. With Knuckles gone, the evil Echidnas proceed on their holy crusade, and the Chaotix are tied up to the ground. However, Knuckles rematerializes thanks to the ancient walkers. One of them spits out a giant crow that teleports Knuckles to the Chaotix to help. Knuckles' sixth sense picks up Archimedes, so then he frees the two ants from under the ground. Back in the city, the Legion and the Dingoes break out into a war, when suddenly Enerjack starts vanishing. Enerjack is teleported to Mammoth Mogul, who completely overpowers the Echidna Warlock. Knuckles catches him on the fall down, but the Legion intercept and take their boss away. Sonic and the Freedom Fighters show up to help as they had gotten a distress signal earlier from Knuckles. However, Knuckles remembers no such thing. And as it turns out, it was another one of Mammoth's April tricks. He zaps away Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles to some faraway place. And that's it for the Knuckles
Man,
story.
I just want to
when
make
you
a
summarize
quick
it and break
clarification.
it down, man, it really sounds fucking stupid.
I just want to make a quick clarification. The person who called Sonic and the Freedom Fighters was Knuckles' dad disguised as Knuckles.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We get Goofy in this series. He's there. He's one of the dingoes. I go do.
Sora, where are we now?
So there was a little blurb in the first issue's little, I don't know what to call it, summary wall of text, and it just says, as a result, Knuckles has never before faced the fury of someone bent on seeking his total and complete destruction until now. That's a lie. That is not true. That has happened multiple times already.
No, it's just different.
I guess so. Dimitri doesn't.
I'm kind of wondering if this is just me, but like, I feel like this was like super early on, but just I felt like big whiplash just from seeing Knuckles say Lava Reef Zone. I was like, oh shit, this is a Sonic comic. I kind of forgot.
Finally, Sonic stuff from Sonic.
Oh, I guess not. I think I was just. Yeah, you're right. That is there was wrong. I didn't think about that.
It's like when I really try to think back to these Knuckles comics so far, it's like you don't. At least I don't really have moments of like, hey, it's that place from the game. No, it's just more like, hey, it's a city and a forest and a futuristic city.
Yeah,
and then you'll see Knuckles say Lava Reef Zone. You don't really get to see it, I don't think, but it is what it is.
I want to say he was I forget when he even said that. I want to say he said that when he was looking for Archimedes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they were in.
Like, weren't they at some fucking volcano or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think it's really funny that Knuckles just has a moment really early on in the very first issue of this batch where he's pretty much another moment of like the characters saying why they suck, why they're like the story about them is so weak, and
Yeah.
and it's just so funny to me. It's kind of annoying.
It's almost
really,
like
it
the
is.
writer himself underlining why his story is so insufferable.
It's like it's just setup after setup, and it's just nothing is just like it's so annoying when you go comic by comic and you're like, fuck, I'm tired of setups, let's have some payoff.
I feel like a puppet with everyone pulling the strings. It's like, I'm sorry, Knuckles, but that's exactly what you are so far. And it kind
I
of
know
sucks.
it's insulting, but it's true. But it's the truth. Laura Sue just acknowledges homophobia is rampant in Echidna society.
I guess my former friends aren't so popular with you straights.
I can't even walk the streets without people either staring or avoiding me. Enerjack finally targets the biggest threat. Oh, also, I just want to point out, Enerjack is stronger than Cars from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because he didn't stop thinking in space. Anyway, Enerjack finally targets the biggest threat.
I don't know if that
An
really
old
tracks
man
because
ant and another ant.
he got outside help. Like, let's talk after Mammoth Mogul goes after Cars.
Yeah, after Mammoth Mogul also like eviscerates or emaciates Cars.
Someone ring up Death Battle so we can have Cars versus Enerjack.
I'll do
That's
it myself.
All right, challenge accepted.
Who's Cars?
JoJo.
How
He's a big car and
can I just use cats instead?
who's
Sure.
like from
From Zero Wing.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Cats from Courage the Cowardly.
I was thinking Cats the musical.
I was thinking
Oh
Cast
my-
the Animal.
Well,
Goodness,
there we go. There's our next death battle. All the cats fight.
the Cats battle royale.
I'm rooting for Big the Cat.
so true.
It's gonna
He's scared of ants.
He's truly
though.
the strongest.
It's gonna be hard because all the base are belong to cats.
I think it's a weird. So the scene with General Stryker and by the way, you said the bearded. We should know who the bearded guy is. We don't. He's just a judge. I think it's a really strange scene. It's a scene that I want to like. That I wish, like, if it was done a little differently, could have been better. Like, honestly, even just without that little ending scene with the freaking cartoonish finger crossing, I think it could have been done well. Because it's weird, because they're like, okay, so the Dingoes is the antagonist, right? But then you get this thing where he he's like, our city perished. If it was ours that survived while you were left homeless, would you react any different than we do? And then you get a panel of like all of the judges looking really uncomfortable and seemingly like, yeah, okay, that's true. And then it's like they finally come to a resolution about like why the concerns are important for them to get like housing constructed, and you get a little thing of like, okay, General, well, you got to lay down your arms and promise for better relationships. And he's like, I give you my word. And he's got a little crossed fingers. And, it's really stupid because it's like, in one way, I get it. It's supposed to be symbolism because it's like, oh, yeah, completely, like, make yourself defenseless. Not only are you homeless, but it's like, yeah, you keep doing it. Like, you already have nothing. So, take your security away, too. It's like symbolism for political fluff promises. I feel like it's a weird thing to have in these comics.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't dislike the idea of it. I just wish it was not done the way that it was. That's really all. Also, Knuckles looks like a kidney bean, like, in half of the scene.
I can't think of like the word I'm looking for, but like realizing that I'm becoming dangerously used to the fact of looking at a fucking like jury of Knuckles. Like, I don't want to get used to this and how stupid it is.
You are going to be judged by the Knuckles Tribunal. I'm sitting at the head with fake dreadlocks.
Order in the Knuckles court.
See, now that you said that, I'm terrified because I'm almost getting used to it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn, I'm already used
That I look
to
at this
it.
fucking Knuckles jury and I don't immediately laugh my ass off.
This is wonderful to hear. You're all becoming broken like me.
That happened a long time ago.
The Knuckles mom scene is so annoying. It's so weird. It's like it's once again like dude, Bob, you hit the nail on the head. Meanwhile,
breezed right through this.
meanwhile.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. They needed to cut down the meanwhile.
Locke sucks dick. Bad pacing in comic form. Super bad use of the chaotics.
Yeah.
The Knuckles comics is not off to a great start.
Remember
Too
when,
many little plot threads. I don't hate the idea that there's like multiple plot threads going on. That stuff can be cool if done right. It's just there's too many little things, and then you end up with like the Knuckles mom thing that I just don't care about at all.
So, the comic actually kind of lampshaded what I was thinking. I'm like, all the chaotics are captured. Where is Charmy?
Yeah.
On the
He
cover
melted.
of issue 7. They left him there.
That was also
Or sorry, on the
like,
cover of issue 8.
like, I was like almost hoping that he would never show up in the comics, so I could be like, why was he on the cover? Like, and then he like randomly pops up like basically out of nowhere, almost like a Charmy jump scare.
Wait, wasn't he put in the same jar as the ants or whatever when they were
He
buried?
pops out of it, but we never see him in there any other time.
Oh god, I can't believe it. I think I gaslit myself into believing that there was an established scene where he's just in there. I think I'm really am broken. Holy crap.
I don't remember seeing one, but then again,
Me neither.
I'm tempted to suppress most of this from my mind.
I mean, I was trying to look for him at one point where I was like, they put him on the cover, but where is Charmy?
Where is Charmy?
And then like once they rescue Archimedes and the other ant, like Charmy just flies out like, oh, there's Charmy, that's where he was.
No, guys, don't you remember the scene where since he was trapped with the ants ate him so he could stay alive?
Damn.
I don't even think
I think the old guys.
like I can't remember. Like I feel like that might be the only panel, like one or two panels Charmy's even in this story. It's like, well, again,
They could've
it's
put
funny
Mighty on
because
the
it's
cover.
another situation of like a character that's put on the cover and then they're only in the story like just barely.
I just I think this was one of the issues which I have vivid memories from Bobby's Tumblr, and I remember reading a take that I really agreed with even back then, where it was like, man, they really do be just like completely like they hype up the chaotics in words only, and then nothing happens with them every time. And I think back to a specific case where it's like, oh, I really liked that one special where the Knuckles Chaotic special, where they, fought the carnival stuff all together.
Right.
That was really cool. That was really great. And then, you got here and there was some really nice scenes with the chaotics. And then it's like where you think it would be really like involved, they're just gone. Or
It did have me thinking back to like when people like say, I don't know, accuse, I guess, of like Ken Penders writing a Sonic comic when he really doesn't care about Sonic, and and then I'm just thinking about these Knuckles comics where all the focus is on Knuckles OCs, and then the Chaotix just get kidnapped or just sit around and don't do anything. Like the established characters don't get any, like from the games don't get any love, and then it's just Knuckles and Pink
Like,
Knuckles
I was about
and
to
Knuckles
say,
with a
did the
goatee.
Chaotix even did the Chaotix even do anything?
No.
Doesn't sound like
Not
it.
really.
Nope.
Knuckles hypes them up. That's it.
I do.
I will say there was one thing that I saw that I remembered. This is the reason I even went to thanks Ken Pender's blog for this specific chapter or this issue is the very end where Enerjack is huge and grabs Knuckles. The what the fuck you are large and pointing. I am large. What the fuck? He is pointing. And I had to do this. Here's the original. I put way too much. I mean, it's not even great effort, but I put way too much effort. This is all in MS Paint. I mean, it's all in MS. I am large. What the fuck?
He is pointing.
I didn't even bother putting he is. You know what I did to get the text? I went to other pages and clipped the letters.
I admire your effort.
Yeah, man, my fucking peanut brain. I just want to laugh seeing a text bubble with Knuckles saying, "What the fuck?"
Oh, well, everybody, you're going to have that in the show notes. You're welcome. Or sorry.
Okay, I wanted to, point this out, bring this up, just because I guess the question of, this is actually, I've been reading alongside that mentioned blog along with the comic, and I felt like a good point that was brought up was just, it's about both Enerjack and the Legion, where, it's like Enerjack pops up, it's like, returns to Earth, he's like, okay, my plot, world domination, and then the Legion are like, oh, okay, and then we're just gonna follow you with no questions asked. I'm like, I feel like with these comics and Ken Pender's writing, it's like characters just do things, but it feels like there's not ever enough context or explanation given or motivation. They just oh, he wants to rule the world, I guess. Okay.
Well, I mean, the Legion is directly founded by Dimitri's family line.
It's that's the only. It's like a tiny thread of I'm pretty sure that's just undying loyalty. I guess that's fine, but what was the reason they all grouped together again? Oh, I think it was not world domination.
No, they just wanted to take Echidnapolis, or they wanted their technology. That's it. I don't know.
But now it's world
really
domination.
Stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, the world domination thing was really dumb. I don't get it. I get it from Enerjack's perspective, but whatever. It was. I agree with that point too. It was very poorly set up. You just don't think about it because you're like, well, these are the bad guys.
And
but it should have been.
And I guess while I'm at it, I'll just say Enerjack sucks.
Yeah, he's pretty rough.
Such a nothing villain.
I do like the fact that we get Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker Knuckles. I'm sorry, that is such a stupid niche joke, but I like the moment that happened. All I could hear in my head is the Final Fantasy title screen.
Final Fantasy 14 fan looks at the window at night, sees the moon. It's just like Final Fantasy.
Damn, it's just like Final Fantasy for real. Locke sucks. I think I mentioned this before, but I'm gonna keep saying it. He doesn't let his fucking great grandfather die. His great father, he's ready to go. It's Hawken. He's like, I've lived enough. I've done enough. Fuck off. And he's like, oh, I don't think so. You're not. It's not up to you to decide. You die, Hawkins. And he mind blasts his ass. I think he's the real villain of the comic. There's no way they're setting him up not to be. He sucks. He's a bad dad. Even his dad. Even Locke's father, Knuckles' grandfather, Saber, keeps pointing out how Locke sucks. It's insane. Why is he such a bad person?
It's man, I agree, but yet I have this, I don't know what to call it. This feeling, and then also a little bit of foresight, where it's I don't think Ken Pender's intended for that, or maybe he would have just done things differently or in the future. But but it's well, I mean, you're right. Locke sucks. He's kind of an asshole.
I don't know. It's some sort of Ken Pender's repressed father-son feelings. I guess.
I think it might be.
And you know what? Fine. Fair enough. I kind of wish it was framed in that way stronger. In one of these instances, I wish it was more ham-fisted. I wish it was way more of yeah, Locke, you suck. And everybody around you thinks you suck too, which it kind of is. I mean, his ex-wife thinks so, his own father thinks so, Knuckles thinks so, but it's kind of...
I mean, it's tough to say, and I guess part of the reason I'm thinking that is because of what happens in the upcoming issue, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's the problem. That's my frustration with it.
I think it's really funny how these issues just end.
Do you mean like how they're very sudden?
I more so meant the final one of these.
Oh,
just how the way they deal with Enerjack.
Wait,
in that
real
they
quick,
don't.
Yeah. Before we get to that point, though, I think it's really there's one more thing I want to mention that Knuckles is just fighting a D&D beholder. One more thing, and I'll get out of your hair. Knuckles is fighting a D&D beholder, and I think that's really cool. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but in issue 8, he's quite literally is literally a beholder. I think it's fun because it's like, oh, Ken vendors are like the artists probably. Play D&D. I don't know. That's a little thing. Clown car. Beep beep. All right, go on. He's got a golf cart. Go on.
Well, I said a golf cart.
Only the most powerful of Echidna technology. Me.
We must go on a holy crusade so that we too can have the funny golf cart. Police cars.
The Legion be like, we have been locked away from our technology. Meanwhile, the Echidnas in Echidnopolis, we have clown cars.
Me. I gotta do that every time you say that. I don't know. I'm just contractually obligated now.
Remington really caught the short end of the stick because I know they have like SWAT vans too, but he just gets the little golf car.
Well, it's a high tactical vehicle.
You're right.
You don't see it, but if he presses a button on it, he gets the little golf cart roof.
Oh, it's raining again. Harv, you had something to say about the upcoming issue.
Yeah. Since we're talking about all three of them, we could talk about how it just ends, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I like how they built up Enerjack, like, so much through all of this. And then out of fucking nowhere, fucking, what's-his-face?
Mammoth Mogul.
I'm trying to make a joke here, I'm blanking.
Well, I hope none of us like...
Sorry!
So, fucking Flame Mammoth shows up and he's like, "Oh no!" He slaps him and then he's like, "Oh, Enerjack's dead."
He
cool.
Literally sucks his fucking water out.
Like, I hope none of us liked Enerjack because I didn't. Because they were just using him to fucking power skill Mammoth. So.
Enerjack's like, "You can't stop me." And Mammoth Mogul's like, "Of course I can. Watch this."
What a running joke.
It all goes back to...
He was right.
Let's see, that's time number 4. That's the time to stop the running joke. There we go, we're good.
One boring villain has been replaced with another boring villain.
With an even more boring villain.
Oh, bold, but... You know.
At least Enerjack looked interesting.
I guess he acts... I guess.
Now it's just big fat, absolutely not Kingpin / Vandal Savage.
Okay, that's who it is. Vandal Savage. Yeah. He's Vandal. He's literally Vandal Savage. I was trying to remember.
All right, good. I'm glad I wasn't the only one that thought that.
No. I think that's the point. I think it's on purpose.
Yeah.
The reason I say so is because in issue 56, I feel like there's an outfit. I wanted to check with you on that, but like I think it looks like a very Vandal Savage fit, but I'm not so.
I don't know Vandal Savage's outfit. Look, the only stuff I know about Vandal Savage is from like the actual Justice League cartoon.
Okay,
I'm a big Vandal Savage head
and
because I thought his appearance in Young Justice was phenomenal, and he's a really cool villain in that, and I like him a lot.
There's one thing.
It's all because of that show.
Completely unrelated to Sonic. And speaking about Vandal Savage. I'm shocked there hasn't really ever been like a Ra's al Ghul Vandal Savage team up. They both got like the similar MO.
They are very similar. I think there's something like
there's got to be one
with those two.
There's got to be. Because
Did
they
you watch Young Justice?
Nope.
All right, enough of this DC talk. Cut this shit out.
yeah. So
We're going back to Archie.
So
I like it when Jughead appeared on Sonic.
So Mammoth Mogul suddenly pulls a Sigma and just usurps the villain role.
I didn't realize. You're so right. He quite literally pulls a Sigma. He's just like, you thought that was the main villain? Nope. My virus.
Suddenly, through space and time, King Bowser appears.
Boy, this will be really funny, like, a billion episodes from now when Sigma literally appears in the comic.
You're right.
And guess what he does in that one, too? You'll never guess.
He Mammoth Mogul. Oh god, that was dude, you guys, did you you know what's really cute? How Enerjack creates the fucking golden road to the wonderful Wizard of Oz. The golden brick road to visit the Guardian, the wonderful Guardian of Floating Island. He just speed runs his legion to Echidnopolis, even though I'm pretty sure he could have just teleported them all, but whatever. I have a note in my document here that's just like, Altair, not again. That's all it says. He's like, God saved you, Knuckles. Why are we bringing him in to do something else? I've had enough characters and plot threads. I've just had enough. You can't keep doing this.
I'm not gonna lie. When Mammoth Mogul showed up, I was half expecting another villain to show up and try to usurp from him or something. Like, out of nowhere, Ixis, whatever his fucking name is, just shows back up again. And he's like,
I think,
screw you, Mammoth Mogul. I am the most powerful. Become Gem. Woo!
Become Gem. Yeah, I hate Altair. He's just so bad in this.
Why'd you
I don't
post
think
this
he ever
image
gets
of the
better.
dingo guy?
I'll get to that in just a second. To give context, so I don't know. I looked. There's something about this. Let's just say we'll listen to what you have to say.
I don't know why you find that
Where
so
did
funny.
you even pick up that from? I don't.
What is the origin? He has a tiny baby.
You're not making any sense. I'm going to 56. Are you ready?
No, I have more.
No.
I have 2 more screenshots to post.
All right. I was kidding. If you all have something to say, you can go ahead.
I think I wanted to just touch on the man. I don't think I said anything on the Mammoth Mogul thing. I think his appearance is so fucking funny because they just get into a dick measuring contest in space, and then Mammoth Mogul's just like, "Shut the fuck up!" Takes your fucking life essence. The way Knuckles catches Dimitri is really funny. Okay, jokes aside, kind of just to take you into my head in the moment. I thought that this was kind of nice in a way. Like, Dimitri's character sucks ass, and the only reason I'm saying this is because I have future sight. But this scene is actually kind of cool between this page and that next page where it just goes like where Mammoth Mogul is like taking his stuff and he's just like, due to my superior patience and planning, now I am the power. You, on the other hand, and then it goes panel to panel to panel, are nothing more than another Echidna named Dimitri. And it's just him floating down, opening his eyes and looking below. And I thought it was kind of, I liked this. It's still very silly and stupid, but just,
it would have been a cool part if I cared about the character.
Yes, 100%. Yes, this is 100% future sight me talking because I do like Dimitri later on. I think he's cool. I just think he's neat.
At least
but
enough about
thinking
that
about
guy.
it and looking at this now, it's like I get a small bit of enjoyment of seeing Knuckles do something like just save someone. Like, oh, that's nice. I take the crumbs of enjoyment I can get from these.
Dude, That's all we can hope for. It's the crumbs that will eventually pile up.
I do like.
Become a loaf of
I
bread.
like how gently he catches him too. It's so tender.
Yeah, he catches him and he like cradles him on his knee and he's.
He's like,
All right, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
Oh wait, I forgot. Bob, you posted a really good thing for the cover of the issue.
Yes, I did.
Threatening Vector.
I made it myself because I was too lazy to get the fucking transparent thing from Google.
All of us love to put too much effort in our shitty, witty jokes. All right, the gang's all here. Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic have been deleted by Mammoth Mogul, and Jeffrey Lestink, Sally, Rotor, the Chaotix, General Stryker are all left to deal with the big man on the court. And thus we move to issue
56.
Give us the skinny Dorko for you. Who's the artist and the writer?
I guess it makes sense that the writer is Kent Taylor, the guy who brought us Mr. Mammoth Mogul himself. Yeah. And then I'm kind of relying on the wiki to be accurate on this one, but as far as the pencilers go, it was John Hibbert, and then in the later half, somewhere down the line, the artist changed to, I guess, rather Manny Galan drew the later pages.
Who? I think John Hebert this is the first time we have him as a penciler, right? I feel like I've seen this art before. I'll go into the art in a second.
I mean, I read his name
remember.
earlier for 54, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah. His art's weird. It kind of reminds me of Ken Penders in a way.
Oh no.
A little bit.
All right, Bob, go ahead.
So enough about Mr. Dimitri. This is now a Mammoth Mogul episode. Our Sonic heroes arrive on some kind of space rock that seems to have a mind of its own and tries to eat Sonic. Aether appears and sucks the gang into a wormhole out of the Bizarro Zone. Mogul is playing around with his space warping powers and is then attacked by Sonic and Knuckles, who are wearing a bunch of power rings around their arms. He seems to overpower the heroes and and blasts them with a green laser only for them to absorb the energy instead so that they can assume their super forms. They fight, and then some cloaked figure shows up. It is none other than Tails. His super subtitle is so small I could not read it, so I don't know what he's called.
Turbo Tails!
Turbo Tails whips out a tool known as the Chaos Siphon. It presumably saps some of his power, but Mogul uses a beacon of light to light the way to a bunch of emeralds in the Chaos Chamber. He breaks in. Then from Knuckles... What's this guy's name again?
Locke is Knuckles'
Locke,
dad.
right,
Saber
Locke.
is the guy with the monocle.
I need to start calling him Locke. From Locke's computer room, I think it's implied that Locke intervened somehow. An explosion occurs and everything's suddenly over. Nobody's sure what happened at the time, but the day saved and Knuckles finally has the Sword of Acorns for real. As Sonic and Knuckles is chatting, the latter explains Mogul isn't fully destroyed, but rather stuck in some kind of comatose state. His life force is being protected by Chaos Emerald magic, and then that's it.
In case we need to use him again.
In case we want to write him in the story.
Yeah, it really didn't make sense by the end of it. I was thinking,
What did Locke even do?
I don't know, Echidna, magic technology or something.
Hey, Locke sucks. Did I mention that before?
No. Hey, Locke did a lot in this. He thought about considering maybe helping Knuckles.
Yeah, he thought about considering about maybe being a good dad for a second, but nah.
Nah.
Computer magic. I have a very good Anton screenshot. I like, why is handsome Anton? His eyebrows are so defined. Oh.
I wasn't sure. I thought it was Tails for a second.
Yeah, I know, me too. I was also very confused when I saw this. Like, wait.
I don't know if anyone else found this funny, but the fact that old Mammoth, it's like, okay, he singles out Sonic and Knuckles as threats. I get it, but the fact that it was also Tails really cracked me up.
collateral.
Which, like, obviously there's a reason and they cover that, but, like, it's like, I can't even remember the last time Tails was important. So, like, I've gotten rid of their most, their most threatening warriors, including Tails. Like, okay.
It's so true. So true. It is really funny. In the moment that you're reading, like, oh, I guess the framing is like, oh, you just got caught in the crossfire or something. I love the moment that they're cheering for everybody, and Sonic is like, damn, it's like, this wasn't written by Ken Penders, was it? Because it's like, we said it before, but it's worth saying again. Hip hip hooray, hooray for Knuckles. I don't know, like, I think this is really funny looking. It is a nice little scene, I think, of this whole comic. The very last, like, I think it was the second to last page or something. No, a few pages before the last. I liked it. I liked the art in it was kind of nice. The framing and the angles. I like the Knuckles sitting on the rock. It kind of reminded me of Sonic Adventure.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
No, yes.
Oh.
He was sitting on Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and Sonic doing the whole, like, cross leg, like, pumping his arms back, like, I don't know, I really like it.
I think it's still funny how it feels so abrupt of, like, just Sonic and Knuckles being buddies now. It's like, well, I don't want to complain about it because this is so much better, but it's
I'm gonna be honest. The last part of the fight, I'd lost track of what was going on.
Oh no, I could not, and I just wanted to give up. It's like, I don't want to spend too much time trying to figure out what is supposed to be happening. Like,
What the fuck is a Chaos Siphon?
Dude, we know what the Chaos Siphon, that was introduced way back in the Knuckles Ninny series, I think.
How are there 14 Chaos Emeralds now? What is going on?
I
They've
told
doubled.
you guys, don't forget. There's so many of
never
them.
forget how they got it right, and then
They got it wrong after.
which, I mean, I guess on paper, just trying to make your comic more interesting by introducing more Chaos Emeralds, I guess, but I don't know.
There's a point where you, no.
Maybe it's just it's not really. It doesn't really change anything. It's silly.
That's all I can say. No.
Yeah, on second thought, you're right. No.
No.
What did Locke do?
I told you, he considered maybe possibly helping Knuckles. Maybe.
No, I don't think he did anything. I think that he was just watching.
I feel like it was. Well, okay, if he didn't do anything, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
I was so under the impression that it's like, as shitty as it is, like, oh, the echidnas that are not even there watching, like, hidden away, watching from cameras, save the day somehow.
Oh, you know, you're right. They did do. I don't know what the fuck. Fuck you, Locke. Fuck.
So, like,
okay, I just remembered something. Go ahead, Dorko.
And I
So-
just remembered.
like, we just got done with the Knuckles little story where, like, Enter Jack is the big villain, and then, like, the heroes don't get to stop him. It was just Mammoth Mogul. And then, again, we get, oh, well, here's the super bad Mammoth, and then we don't even get the pleasure of Supersonic, Turbo Tails, Hyper Knuckles, like, beating him, or, like, winning, you know, like it'd be a simple thing, like, like, oh man, it'd be great to watch the heroes beat the bad guy, but no, that doesn't happen.
Nope.
Like, oh yeah, Tails, he's the chosen one, it's happening, but he doesn't really do anything.
He doesn't choose. He's not even one.
I mean, although even then, like, even if he did, that wasn't even super great either. It's like, Turbo Tails, the chosen one. What does he do? He borrows a Echidna technology. Tails, why are you even here?
we had to play on the thing that we set up like a million issues ago. Goodness, this is what I'm saying. Too much setup, not enough payoff. We do get cool moments of setup and payoff, but like it's so far in between, And there's so many moments where it's like the payoff sucks. Man, I do be feeling like the Sonic I just posted. Going through me having to break my own perspective on these comics. Would have been happier just not doing this podcast. But you know what? This is good. Maybe this is what it'll take to finally stop me from the cycle of hyperfixation. No. This is all I think somebody mentioned this is an intervention for me. It really is. I've been thinking about this a lot. Yeah, that's the end. That's it. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I guess so.
All he wrote.
I'm already feeling the pain. The pain of they killed off Robotnik, and all we get is like essentially like all these villains are practically the same to me right now. They're evil, they're one note, and they're boring, and it sucks.
They're all just bad guy wizard. That's it.
Like, I'm really missing like the charm of like Robotnik being like humorously menacing, you know.
I need at least one speech of "I am Dr. Ivo Robotnik."
Is Julian?
Right.
Julius.
I don't think that was in the cartoon.
No, but it's in this.
I am Pingus.
Oh yeah, he did say that in the comic. I remember that back in issue 12. I think. I agree with you. It's hard. It's so hard for me to not blend in my future sight with some of this shit.
No, I'm actually feeling that too. It's like, like I even have it in the back of my mind because it's like because with Mammoth Mogul himself and Ixis Naugus, it's like I remember these guys. I read the later comics. Like I think I liked them later, but right now, like I'm getting introduced to them, and I'm like, man, these guys suck.
Yeah. Yeah, Mammoth Mogul is one of those instances where I do like him, but maybe that is from later. But as far as Ixis goes or Naugus goes, I think he's still one of the better ones from this early part, but we have to get to that point for me to confirm my suspicions. It will come up, and I think he's neat. I think him being this mystical force in the background of a lot of stuff will be kind of interesting. It's coming up. It'll be in the next batch of stuff that we read for sure.
I think on paper it just makes sense that, you know, we've had like the main villain Robotnik being just, you know, his whole thing with technology and evil robots, and then, you know, you can have this other villain that's an evil wizard that's magic. That's some nice variety.
I think wizard is a good contrast. It's just like there's 3 of them.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that, but yeah.
You gotta mix it up a little bit if we're gonna have so many villains. IMO.
Shoutouts to KtE Williamson from Mauricio, Michigan, who drew a really good Lupe that looks like it's straight out of the cartoons, like storyboards.
Oh, yeah. I just remember seeing the post that was like, shoutouts to this fan art that has better art than the comic itself.
Oh damn! Wait. Oh, I didn't see that for this issue.
Yeah.
But I do. She's right. The art is really good. But I think this is like where we're seeing the origins of the Master Emerald. By the way, guys.
They don't say it by name, but
they don't say it by name.
I guess it does look like it. I guess. But
this
is too early to bring it up, but like while we've been talking, it's been on my mind because I'm looking at all this, it's all absorbing in, and I'm thinking, you know, Sonic Adventure. I'm like, oh shit, what do you do in that situation as a writer?
What do you do in that situation as a writer? And I brought this up before, but you know they also just didn't have access to the content beforehand.
I'll tell you what happens. Perfect Chaos shows up. And then out of nowhere, Mammoth Mogul shows up and takes his power.
I mean,
that's right.
Like, I've lost track of the year we're at, but like this isn't even right now. It's not even necessarily an issue of like. Okay, well, the fact that they haven't had the Master Emerald itself, that's the issue. But like, bring up Sonic Adventure specifically, and the fact that it has its own Echidna backstory, like, I mean, what can you do about that? Like. The only way that could have been an easier situation is if Sonic Team cared about the comics and wanted to write game lore that fit. And which, to be clear, thank fuck they didn't do that. I don't want to live in the alternate universe where the games reflected Ken Pender's Knuckles stories.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, I feel like if they were unquality controlled, probably would have been a better experience.
I mean, yeah, I guess that could have been like the alternative, like the what if scenario of what if Sonic Team had like a harder grasp on the comics and quality control and what.
Exactly. So this is 1998. Sonic Adventure released on the Sega Dreamcast in. I'm looking it up right now. Sorry, guys. Sonic in 1998. So about this comic released a few months before, because end of year is when Sonic Adventure released in 98, December. And this was out in February, March.
Oh, jeez. No.
Yeah, so we're getting there.
The Sonic Adventure adaptation is rapidly approaching.
Yeah, I mean, we do get
me counting down the days until Big the Cat's premiere.
So this is kind of the problem here, where I wanted to just add on to something you said, where it's like, well, look at this Echidna backstory stuff. It's like, well, Sega obviously had their own. Sonic Team had their own way they were doing this, and I think it's really kind of unfortunate that more of that like information didn't pass on to the writers, because I don't know, I feel like if that came straight from Sonic Team, I don't think that the I don't know. I maybe something different would have happened in the writers' room. Is my hopes and thoughts.
I mean, I don't know, because I'm not entirely sure what you're getting at, but also it's like, from Sonic Team's side, it's like, I mean, as they make the games, I guess they've had their ideas on lore and whatnot, but it's like, I don't know how quickly that happened. Like, I'm assuming, like, they get to like making the first 3D Sonic game. Okay, that. I just mean Sonic Adventure. Forget the word choice, but and then I'm assuming that they're writing the story for that, and that's when they come up with, the backstory and whatnot. They're obviously building off of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, but making the Echidna tribe, making Chaos, etc., etc. But yeah, I don't know.
So I feel like there was a little bit of that though in the we haven't gotten to it. Never mind. I feel like we're gonna see a point where maybe they got some information about what's gonna be in Sonic Adventure, and that's actually in the next issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's a little more of me like kind of having this obtuse thoughts or reading a little more between the lines than it should be, but than it actually is, I should say. But I think that there was something they tried to do to tie it in a little bit to Sonic Adventures Echidna lore.
Oh.
Anybody else have any closing thoughts before I announce what we're going to be covering next episode?
I hate that hedgehog.
I miss Robotnik. This session was not great, kind of lame, but I think I can give it a passing grade of D. And it's just ever so slightly better than the last one we did, which was like a whole lot of nothing. I thought there were some good bits, but I can't remember them now because my notes were closed. So yeah, that's all I have to say, I think.
Bob already has like 1 foot out the door.
Well, Bob's already gone. That was pre-recorded.
My memories.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. It really helps if you share this with your friends. If you like it, if you don't like it, give us a reason. I mean, I'd love to hear feedback regardless.
Please.
Tell me to shut the fuck up because I talk too much. That's fair. But next time, we are going to be going through Sonic the Hedgehog Return of the King, which is a super special number 4. And we actually have 2 super specials. One of them, oh boy, is going to be interesting. It's Sonic Super Special number 7. It's an Image Comics crossover.
Oh,
and then with those 2 48-page specials, I'm probably going to give us a little bit of a lighter load after that. So we have those 2 specials, and then Sonic 57, And I think we're going to do Knuckles 10 and 11 and maybe stop there. I'll double check and I'll make sure.
Only two
it might
Knuckles
be that
issues this time. You're sparing us.
I was about to say it might actually be Sonic 58 and then Knuckles 12 as well. It just, I have to remember where the story bits kind of taper off. But yeah. Thanks. That's all I got.
See y'all later.
We said it before, but it's worth saying again. Hip hip hooray! Hooray
Hip,
for
hip,
Knuckles!
hooray.
Hooray for Knuckles! And to everyone listening, a little something for you.